Okay. May 7th, we have a second meeting to talk about parking and circulation, and specifically the implementation strategy for the shuttle. In talking with Rhonda when she came on board, and some of your fellow citizens that serve on the district council or the committees, the two things we wanted to do and commit to do right out of the gate is, one, do some Q&A on the planning process that's happened to date, and why we're at where we're at now, and what are some of the things that would come up. The second part is to really engage and take advantage of this unbelievable opportunity we have with the shuttle. And without having the parking conversation now, I'll say two things. First is, I believe the shuttle will work, and it's not because I believe it. I was 2 years ago in this room over the course of 12 meetings. I was very pessimistic because we didn't have data. And Michelle and her team gathered information. We worked with Metro Transit last year, and 60% of our visitors indicated that if we had a shuttle that ran every
6 minutes, 6 to 12 minutes.
That had a 6-minute route time and between a 12 and a 10-minute wait time, that they would ride the shuttle. That would be the payoff. And so based on that data, that's what we are developing an operating model on. And people who know more about this than I indicate if you can deliver upon that or get in that range, people will use it. But I think beyond the shuttle, and I think the master plans reference this. We spoke about it with the community group, the ad hoc group that looked at parking and circulation 3 years ago. It was right when I came to Como. Shuttle, better connections with mass transit. Some of that can happen today. Central corridor will be a big deal when that comes there, and how we can link to that. And taking advantage of the mass transit and bicycle, and then taking advantage, maximizing the use of the structured parking that we have right now. A little commercial for Don. Don was, not that he's old, but Don's been involved in all these planning processes for day one. And one of the pressures that Don hasn't talked about, and was a big part of the implementation plan in the 90s, is we want to do a better job with structured parking, but we also want to see a net reduction in the impervious surface that's within the park. So there's pressures coming out on that from both ends, and that's where some of the things that came up in the pool discussion, where we can vacate part of the Beulah alignment in Como. But what we did with Estabrook, the treatments around the Lakeside Pavilion, when those parking lots were established, I think we did the changes around Como Lake, that there have been improvements. We want to knock the circulator out of the parking, get that right, and do some things with structured parking. But we've actually had a net reduction in impervious surface at each stage as we've gone through on an aggregate level. So that's a good setup for the parking discussion, I think.